So we're live.
We are live.
Are you ready to talk about this movie? This is your pick. It's Romantic Friday.
This is my pick.
It's your
You're
pick.
welcome, everyone.
Well, here we go. Should be fun.
Oh yeah.
Can you solve the riddle of the model?
I think I can.
All right. Well, let's hope so.
Yes.
Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, a not drunk Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and your sommelier of cinema, Robert Meyer Burnett. And I'm here with my beautiful compatriot. Who might you be?
I am Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell. I am the ace, the arbiter of cinematic excellence, and the enchantress of entertainment.
The enchantress of entertainment, and it's Friday. It's Romantic Friday, and you picked the movie.
It is Romantic Friday, and I picked Sing Street.
Is there anything you care to illuminate or elucidate about the film? Why was it your choice?
That's why we're here to talk about this film.
Okay, put me in my place.
No. No, I love this film. It's like set in the 80s, which,
1985 in Dublin, Ireland.
I can relate. And the music is so good.
The music is so good.
When I was in high school, it was all about the music.
Well, yes.
The last great decade
That's
of music.
That's what director John Carney says that. He says that it was the last decade where there was truly original sounding music, not music that sounded like a bunch of other stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's right.
Yeah, he is.
I was big into music in the 80s.
Oh,
it was incredible.
Music was my life.
Well, I'll tell you what's my life. Alcohol. And I'm a little unlike Wednesday. I'm not inebriated. So we have the Count, the Buena Vista Winery. It's called the Count. It's a red wine. It's just a red wine. Is this a Trader Joe's special?
It is. It is.
Boy, this is a robust bottle.
Yeah, it's got a pretty high alcohol content.
Well, because clearly I don't have enough alcohol. People, I can't do that. People are like, you should do that more often.
No, please don't.
Yeah,
It was fun, but.
It was fun. Well, here's to John Carney's Sing Street from 2016.
Yes, 2016.
I do love this movie, and it not only does it reference a lot of 80s music, each song that the band, the Sing Street band, each song is, of course, patterned after a band. So every song that they do, they're all original songs. By the way, this movie, somebody pointed out, this movie got robbed at the Oscars.
It did.
It should have won Best Song. Whether it's Drive It Like You Stole It or Riddle of the Model, it should have won an Oscar.
It really should have. But, that was the year of La La Land.
Yes, it was the year of La La Land. By the way, we did not drink.
Yes.
So cheers to this film, this delightful movie that I truly love. Do you remember we saw this movie? We saw it at the... I still haven't drank it.
Well, let's drink.
It's delightful.
Ooh.
We saw this... Didn't we see this at the Lemley? Here in Pasadena?
Yes.
That's where we went and saw it. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're right.
I think we did.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic film.
Yes.
So both of us had seen this movie before.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I, of course, own it, as you might guess. Delightful film.
Yeah. Irish film. I always love the Irish.
So what is this movie about, Elizabeth?
Yeah. So we have this young boy who's in high school.
Who is named Cosmo.
Well, no, his name is Connor.
No, he's named Cosmo in the film by our love interest.
Later on,
his name's Connor.
She nicknames him Cosmo.
Connor Lawler, which is a great name.
Connor Lawler. And his family, they live in Dublin, and he's got an older brother and a sister, and
Jack Rayner is so good as the older brother in this movie.
My God.
So good.
So
He's
good.
Brendan, the older brother Brendan.
Brendan is one of the best characters in this film. All the characters are great in this film.
He dropped out of college in the movie. His character Brendan dropped out of college and used to play music, but stopped.
He's like this really in tune this intelligent, intuitive person who gives great advice. Like he's like the best.
He's
older
like
brother.
the Yoda of the movie.
He is like the Yoda of the movie, and kind of lives vicariously through his little brother.
And they have a sister as well, who's not really a part of the story. And their parents, Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
Littlefinger is the dad.
Is the dad, and
and so their family is in financial difficulty, and so the parents decide to send him to a public school, which is also run by. He's in a Jesuit school at the moment, but they're putting him in a public school, also run by.
Basically, a school of delinquent dudes.
It's just the public school.
And he ends up going to that public school.
He does. He goes to that school and is inspired.
And we should say that John Carney, who directed the film, this is basically based on how he wanted his life to be. As he explained it, he never went up to talk to the girl.
No,
he never
there was
played.
This girl that he saw around his neighborhood that was always clutching her bag, and he wished he had gone up to her and talked to her. So he kind of based this film on what he wished he had done.
Right.
Which is so cool.
Really good. And he, of course, directed Once.
The
movie Once.
Mm-hmm.
And he directed another film that I liked, too, I forget the name of it.
Oh. Did I see it?
Yeah, we watched it.
Oh, yeah, also about music.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, with Maroon 5 guy in it.
Yes.
That movie is so good, too.
Yes.
What is that guy's name? Maroon 5, the lead singer guy.
That guy.
Maroon 5 guy. Who's super handsome, by the way.
Yeah, well, hang on. Let me find out. We can, I know what his name is. Maroon 5 guy's name is...
Yeah, when you say his name, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, Adam Levine.
Adam Levine. See, there you go. There you go. It's true. Begin Again. That's what the movie was.
That one is also good. Maybe I'll pick that sometime.
Right.
Also,
and I haven't seen
also a love story.
Zonad, which is a movie he made after he made Once.
Oh.
I haven't seen that.
Well, we need to see that.
Yeah.
But I love films about music, and music is very emotional, so it's always got a love component to it. So I love these kind of films.
And this, I should say that, like, as a teen film, this is like at the very top of, I think, all teen movies. I think this movie, I don't think a lot of people have seen this movie.
It's too bad.
But this movie is a straight up, I mean, I think it's better than any John Hughes movie.
Absolutely.
And I know people are going to be like, what?
But here's the great thing about this film. It was made in 2016, but it feels like it was made in the 80s. So it has that same feel as an 80s movie, like kind of the way it's set up. The teenage high school, he's got a love interest and he's going to get the girl, kind of that moody, emotional.
But it's also very happy. It's a happy movie,
which a lot of 80s movies are.
Yeah, I mean, it's got such a buoyant joie de vivre to it.
It does. And they even reference Back to the Future. I mean, this film is so good.
No, it's great. So, our main character.
Right. Go ahead.
Right, what? No, you're supposed to say, you're going to tell us what this movie's about.
Well, it is Friday, and I picked the movie, so maybe you should tell us.
Well, our main character, Connor, and Connor's, he's not having a great time at school. He runs afoul of the head priest because he doesn't have black shoes.
Right.
And he kind of doesn't know where he is in life.
Yeah, and he's kind of like this innocent kid, like, he's like clueless as to what he's supposed to be doing. And it's kind of like he's, it's exactly how you feel like when you're a teenager in high school.
And then, but he does things like he sees this beautiful girl hanging out on the steps across the street from his school, and he just walks right over to her.
Yeah, which was very like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's the kid's a go-getter, and he's like, he just on the spot makes up a story. He says, "I'm in a band."
But he's a go-getter because he's got the support of his brother in the background.
Yeah.
His brother's a huge part of his coming of age or
As a matter of fact, the movie is dedicated at the end. It says, "To brothers everywhere."
Yeah.
But he just goes and talks to this beautiful girl.
He does.
But makes up a story like,
right on the spot.
Right on the spot. But he has to then he's like, I guess I have to form a band.
Right, because he tells her that he's in a band. And she tells him that she's a model. And so then he says, well, can you be in my music video? Because I'm in a band. And he just says this off the top of his head. He's not really in a band yet.
Oh, but then he does. He goes and forms a band.
He goes and forms a band to impress this girl.
And he finds this kind of goofy looking redheaded kid, this tiny redheaded kid who's going to be the band manager and help him put. And the redheaded kid knows
he has a friend. This kid, he introduces him to his friend who is a musical guy. The kid knows how to play every instrument. He's like really kind of a talented, and this weird guy who loves rabbits, and he always has like these bunnies.
And I think it's they need more people in the band, and they're like, well, let's get a black kid. And it was like, all black people know how to play music, right? And so they go to like the one place because they say there's no black people in Dublin.
There's like one black kid in their school, so they go and try to find him, and they go to his house, and his mom is like, "Oh, it's 4 doors down," and she's like, "What do you think? We're the only black people on this."
Right. And
do you know
of course,
my son?
And they ask him, "Well, can you play an instrument?" And he's like, "Maybe."
He's like, I think I can.
Yeah, I mean, it's so he joins the band as the keyboardist. He can
does.
play music, it turns out.
Yeah, and then they had put up a flyer at school, and then they got their drummer, and then their, I think, of the bass player.
Like these goofy brothers, they show
they're
up.
So cool.
And they've got the bass player and the guitarist. So they've got a band.
They have a band.
And there isn't, like, they start writing music, so it's not like the travails of this band.
His brother gives him the best advice because they record a cover of I think it's Duran Duran, and it's pretty bad.
It's terrible.
And he brings it to his brother, and his brother's like, "This is terrible," and he smashes the tape, and then he gives him this great speech about how he can't be a cover band because cover bands never get up the courage to make their own music. So he's like, do not start off being a cover band. And then Connor's like, but why? We need to learn how to play. And he's like, no.
You don't need... Did the Sex Pistols know how to play their instruments? No.
No, you don't need to know how to play rock and roll. That was like one of the best lines. I mean, there's so many great lines in this movie.
Oh, it's great.
So then he encourages him to, just start writing his own music, which he already is. Like before this, they show him just kind of, picking on the guitar and he has his own songs that he's written.
Right. I mean, he does. The kid has the soul of a poet.
He does.
I mean, he is. And at the same time, this relationship is blossoming with this girl that he walked up to.
Right.
And yet she's kind of mysterious, and we don't know much about her. And she has an older boyfriend who, I think, drives a Volkswagen Scirocco or something.
No, it's a
cabriolet.
cabriolet.
That's
cabriolet.
Cabriolet. And when I moved to LA, every girl drove a cabriolet.
I loved that
like
car.
a white
My
cabriolet.
aunt had one of those. I had a white rabbit. It wasn't quite a cabriolet, but it was a rabbit, and it was white. And I had it in high school.
Yeah. See, there you go. That was a thing. You always want to find. You wanted to date Catholic schoolgirls who had cabriolets.
I went to a Catholic high school.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And I drove a white rabbit.
If you dated a girl from a Catholic high school, man, that was the best.
Yep. I
went
to an all-girl Catholic high school.
Yeah, and music to my ears. Really? Can I get your number?
You were 5 years older than me. I wouldn't have.
Can I get your number?
I wouldn't have dated you in high school.
I didn't like younger girls.
Well, what are you doing with me then?
Well, it changes. Once you get out of college, it doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. But the gulf between 20 and 15 is massive.
Oh, absolutely.
Gigantic.
That's
as a 20-year-old,
huge.
I had no interest in dating anyone that was younger.
Yeah. In 85, I was 14.
Yeah, no.
Not even. I was 13.
So they actually, they start recording.
Yeah. But he had invited her to be in the video, and he gives her a day and a time and a place. And so they throw together this song, which it's great that he's friends with this musical kid because they're perfect together. They
become like John and Paul.
They do.
And they become really good friends, and he's always going over. He said, "Would you like to write a song with me?"
He's like,
"Yes, I
always.
would." Yeah, always.
I loved his answer. He's like, "Always."
The birds of a feather. These guys are.
So he strums along, and then they talk. It's just great watching how they create a song. It's really like, wow.
Oh no, and the writing of it, and the song, that first song that they make the video for is The Riddle of the Model.
Riddle of the Model.
And it's a great song.
Yeah, and he brings her the tape, and she's like, what's the name of the song? And he's like, Riddle of the Model. And then she's like, oh, that's so nice. And he's like, it's not about you.
Right.
It's about another model that I know.
Right, yeah.
And she's like, this movie's so good.
It's so good.
So she does show up. They go to an alley to record, and everyone brings like this crazy costume. One kid's dressed in a cowboy costume, and then they make fun of each other for the things that they brought. And it's a really great.
And then she shows up and kind of becomes their de facto stylist.
Yeah, she shows up and she's like, you guys need makeup.
Yeah, yeah. And then whenever they do something like this, they show up at school the next day in whatever band influence they've been listening to.
That's the great part. So the brother like always is giving him music to listen to learn and to, and
Gives
so
him the Cure's Head on the Door.
Yeah, and then the next day they show up in school, kind of emulating that.
Oh yeah,
that
he's
style.
all Robert Smithed out.
It's like 3 or 4 times they like change their style according to what
Spandau Ballet,
what they've been listening to, and then they create a song that's kind of in the feel of whatever band they've been listening to, which is so great.
It's great. It's so great. And at the same time, that their home life, the parents, the mother is having an affair.
Yeah.
And the older brother Brendan knows this is going on, and
he's so insightful.
And they also, there's a bit of that Ireland, Dublin was not the most upwardly mobile of cities at the time. I mean, and you get this idea that there's not a lot of money there. There's a lot of poverty, but they don't beat you over the head with that. It's always kind of there.
Right.
And I think they do a great job of I don't know, I've never been to Ireland, but I would assume that it's a pretty great depiction of that time. It seemed very authentic to me.
Yeah, it felt very European. I mean, like some of the things that were in the houses, it felt like I was in France at my grandmother's house. That's, the feel. It felt very authentic to me. And also the styling, like it was so 80s. And there's a lot of movies that are in shows that are set in the 80s, and you're like, they got it, but kind of there's something that's not quite 80s. This movie, there was nothing in this movie that made me feel like it wasn't truly in the 80s. Like the verisimilitude, Nick.
Oh, the verisimilitude, Nick.
Of this movie is like top. It's like, I don't know how you felt about it, but like it really felt like the 80s. Like her hair is always 80s. The way she's dressed is always 80s. There's not one single piece of jewelry or anything that she's wearing that did not feel like it was in the 80s.
No, I think this movie is spot on. I mean, it's bang on as far as that goes. And that, I mean, because I was just a little older than that kid, but I totally related to, because
I was their age.
I graduated in 85.
Yeah.
So,
I was just starting high school in 86.
The junior high to I mean, I was 7th grade was 79 for me, and then I graduated in 85.
Yeah.
So that was.
Well, you were like Brendan's age.
Well, no, because he had gone to college already and dropped out. So I was between the two of them. I would have been the middle brother.
Okay.
But no, it was. That's another reason I really. What people forget about the 80s is that it was an optimistic time when you were being a kid. Yes, we were in the middle of the Cold War, but there was so much cool stuff going on. Movies were cool. Music was cool. At the time, fashion was cool.
Yes.
I mean, everything that was going on in the 80s, at least in the early 80s, the 1980 to 85, everything was awesome. It was...
even the late 80s. It was...
Yeah, no, I mean...
It was a pretty special time.
It really was. And the thing about, like, music and pop culture, I've talked about this on my own show, it all fed into each other. Like, in this, they talk about, I want it to be like Back to the Future. Like, he's talking about his music video, so his music video was being informed by movies, and it was all, it was all happening at the time. Like, I remember when I was I loved, like, goth music. Mm-hmm. And I was a huge fan of, like, Bauhaus. Mm-hmm. And then when you go to see a vampire movie like The Hunger, and the movie opens with Peter Murphy, you know, and Bauhaus singing. That was what the 80s were like. You know, it was all everything fed into everything else, and it was great. I mean, pop culture was just so great. And in this, I love the fact that in this movie they just like, we're making a video. They just are doing the video. They didn't build up to it. It's like these kids were like, we're gonna go do this.
Yeah.
And we went out and did this.
And that's what his brother kept pushing him to do. He's just like, just go and do it. Don't pussyfoot around. Like, just go for it. And yeah, it's like his brother at the end explains how he just like he set everything up for his little brother to like go for it.
Right, because he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't.
He's living vicariously through his brother, and he also is a musician, and you can tell like he loves music, and he's always like giving him records to listen to, and influencing him and encouraging him, and you know, and then when at the end he's just so proud of his brother.
Oh,
it's
yeah, no.
It's so beautiful.
Well, and it is, and yeah, and then of course their relationship is developing. Rafina is the name of the girl.
Yeah, Rafina.
Rafina and Connor, and yet she's got this older boyfriend, and you don't really. What's really cool is the movie keeps you. You're always seeing their relationship from Connor's perspective.
Yes.
Like he shows up, and they don't really talk. He doesn't really understand it.
Yeah. He meets the boyfriend because he shows up to pick her up right when he's about to kiss her the first time after the first video they make, and the boyfriend shows up in his cabriolet, and he thinks he's really cool. He's like this older guy. He's got his car, and he is playing Genesis. So when he goes home to tell his brother about this girl and about the guy who came to pick her up, he's like, yeah, he's really cool. He's this older guy. He's got this car. And then the brother's like, well, what was he listening to? And he's like, Genesis. And then he says the best thing. He's like, oh, he's not going to be a problem. And Connor's like, why? Oh, anyone who listens to Phil Collins is not going to be a problem. Or a woman's never going to want a guy who listens to Phil Collins.
Phil Collins does get a bad rap. You know, I
loved Genesis, especially back then.
Well, Genesis pre-Phil Collins is the front man.
I loved Genesis Phil Collins.
Well, yeah, I mean they did have some good Oh Mama?
Yeah.
You know, and
I loved that album. What was that album?
I don't remember.
I loved that album.
But I didn't like Invisible Touch.
Oh, yeah, I loved that whole album.
No, that was too pop for me. Although I did like Phil Collins on his own. I liked In the Air Tonight.
See,
I even liked Sussudio. I thought that was a good tune.
Yeah, that was okay. Once he left Genesis, I liked him, but I didn't love him. Anyway.
That's a tangent.
That's a tangent. I mean, this movie is a lot about music in the 80s, so.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, a lot of Duran Duran love in this movie.
A lot of Duran Duran.
Although, I have to say, it's set in 85.
Yeah.
And they're looking at the video for Rio in the beginning. Well, that album came out in 82. So, they're acting like it's, well, maybe because it's,
well, they were in Dublin, so.
Yeah, but if you think about Duran Duran in 82 had Rio, then they had Seven and the Ragged Tiger come out. I mean, we're talking, Duran Duran had split apart by 85. There was Power Station. John Taylor went to Power Station. And Duran Duran had released their Arena, their live album that the Wild Boys was off of.
Yeah, but this was only a couple years later. And, of course, they're still showing the videos.
It's the only thing that bothered me, because in terms of the time frame, I was, I'm just saying.
I don't think that Duran Duran went out of style in 85.
No, but it's like, but we're into Arcadia Power Station land. Just saying, as a Duranie, and I am a Duranie, you know I'm a Duranie.
Yeah, but Dublin didn't have MTV.
Dublin, all of the UK was very hip to music. They would have known.
Yeah, I think they still would have appreciated.
I just thought it was an interesting choice that I understand why they picked Duran Duran, but it was interesting because there's a discrepancy in terms of time.
2 years.
Yeah, but we're already Seven and the Ragged Tiger had come out, and they make it sound like, and Arena had come out. I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay.
It's my only sticking point. It's the only time where the movie lost verisimilitude for me.
No, it was still had verisimilitude, Nick. I think. in my opinion.
Okay. Isn't being a verisimilitude, Nick, isn't that what I am? Is that being a person?
I don't know. I just love saying that because it's so funny.
Okay, well, anyway. So, and as this movie, there's not much of a plot. Their relationship develops, his songwriting develops, the family's sort of breaking apart, and Jack Rayner's character, Brandon, is coming to terms with himself.
He is.
And on Connor it's really the story of his first love.
It is.
And it's not, I mean, she comes, she goes, you don't know what's up with her.
Yeah, just like it is in high school.
Right.
It felt so real. And your first love in high school, like that's some intense feelings right there.
And then one day she disappears, like she wanted to go to London and be a model with this older guy.
Right. He promised that he would take her, and then this is right when they're supposed to do another video, and it's the one that they're trying to mimic Back to the Future.
Yeah, and she doesn't show up.
And he's crushed.
He's crushed. But it does lead into a great kind of a fantasy musical sequence.
Yes.
And I think it's great where we actually see they look like they're the band from Back to the Future.
Yep.
We see Brandon come in dressed as James Dean.
Yes.
He gets in a knife fight, and it's great.
His parents are there. They're
the idealized version of what he wants to be happening.
And she shows up, and she's like in awe, and yeah, it's this beautiful. And then it ends with it not being that.
Right. And you're like, oh,
yeah,
because you get it both ways. You get this great musical interlude. And then it's soul crushing at the end when he's left alone. But then she comes back.
Yeah, but she ignores him. Like he sees her from across the street.
Well, because she's embarrassed.
She's embarrassed.
She knows that she has real love with him.
Yeah.
And yet she's like happens all the time. I mean, I'm telling you, you want to go date with a girl, you become really good friends with her, but she's got the older boyfriend who goes to a different high school, and you're like, what?
He promised to bring her to London to make her a model.
Right.
So she had to choose between staying there with this guy who's a year younger than her or to go to London and become a model.
And well, she tried, and it turned out it didn't work out.
It did not work out.
It didn't work out.
Because that guy was a liar, and he punched her in the face.
He punched her in the face, which is not good. So, then what?
Okay, so she comes back, and he's supposed to...
You're not drinking your wine very fast. I want more wine, so I'm giving you some. Like that. Okay.
So he's supposed to play for the school, and...
For the prom.
Yeah, it's a dance or something, the prom.
It's the prom.
Okay, but I don't think they have prom. But anyway.
No, it says prom. It said prom. Yeah, they're the band. They have a DJ, but they asked if they could play.
Right.
And that's going to be their first gig. And they named the band Sing Street after the school. The school, because the school is Sing Street.
Synge, but their band is Sing Street. And so he sees her, and he's excited to see her, and at first he wants her to come, but then she says something like, "Oh, I'm just like my mom. Her mom is bipolar, and and I'm stuck with this 15-year-old kid," and then he just is like, and then he kind of is like, "I have to go."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, can I come to your and he's like, "No." He just leaves.
Well, I mean, it's disappointing.
Yeah.
It's soul crushing.
It is soul crushing.
And they have such a connection, and I totally related to that. Mm-hmm. I think any guy as a teenager has a girl like her in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Where we should be together, but we can't because you've got a boyfriend, or at least guys think that they should be with, So, and then at the end of the film, of course, school's over, their love blossoms, and he's going to use his uncle's or his grandfather's boat, and he's going to take her to London.
Yeah, so after their prom gig, which goes really well, and at the end they sing this song that like bashes on the headmaster of the school, and it's hilarious, and then they decide that they're gonna go. They're gonna go to London, and so they go to see Brendan, and they ask him to drive them to the
beach,
harbor.
To the harbor.
To take their little dinghy and go across the ocean. And so, and Brendan's like, well, when do you want to go? And they're like, right now.
And he loves that. I mean, this
and he's like, let's go.
And what it is it's the final summation. It's everything Brandon's been trying to tell Connor.
Yes.
And this is it. This is the moment that Brandon has been grooming him for.
Yes.
And so Brandon, it's the moment that Brandon never had in his life.
Yep.
It's like, let's seize the day, carpe diem,
Yes. So Connor has all his tapes, and Regina, or
Rafina.
Rafina.
She has her modeling
has
pictures.
Her pictures, her headshots.
And they get in this boat, and
They get in this tiny little dinghy, and
well, it's like a motorboat. It's like a fishing boat.
Yeah.
And it's great because they talk about the ferry that keeps going back and forth.
Yes.
They're going to follow that ferry to...
Right.
And it shows up, it almost runs them over.
Yeah, because it's like foggy and rainy, and yeah.
And it's great.
And then in this beautiful song, I think it's the song that Brendan had, written, because he hands him lyrics to a song, and he's like, it's about a girl and a boy.
Yeah, and if you can use them sometime, put some music to it.
Yeah, so I think that the song, and it's a beautiful song at the end, talking about, going for your dreams or whatever.
Okay, so let me ask you, why for Romantic Friday, obviously this movie has an element of romance in it, but it's not necessarily, I think it's about, this movie captures, I think one of the reasons that we like this movie, the two of us, is kind of the same reasons we like movies like Amélie. It has a certain joie de vivre,
Yes.
a joy to it. It's not oppressive, and it's about the possibilities of life, and that you can actually do things if you set your mind out.
Yeah, it's hopeful. It's got this light-hearted but also deeply meaningful story.
Right, and even Connor goes to the guy that is bullying him the most, and
Yes.
says, "Look, we need somebody to be the roadie in our band."
Right.
So he turns that into something that's good.
Mm-hmm. He's just a good kid. And you root for him,
So yeah, so why did you pick this? Why'd you pick this for Romantic Friday?
Because it's a romantic story. Like, this is his first love, and it's the story of that, and him becoming, following his dreams, and it's about the relationship with his brother. It's just a beautiful story with really great music.
Plus, it's talk about a feel-good movie. I mean,
Yeah.
this movie will leave you grinning from ear to ear.
Yeah, I was like smiling and laughing the entire movie.
No, it's a fantastic film. I love this movie so much. It might be, I mean, if someone asked me my favorite films of the teens, the 2000 teens, this is in the top 10.
Absolutely.
I love this movie. I love everything about this movie. I love the music. I love the actors. I love, John Carney, the director, cast a lot of unknowns. I mean, Jack Rayner was known, and Aidan Gillen was known,
Right.
but mostly he went for the kids are all like unknown actors.
And they're great.
They are great.
Every single one of them.
I mean, at first you have a little hard, the thick Irish brogue.
Especially
the
the
kids.
redhead.
Yeah,
it's
like,
really hard to understand what he's
what
saying.
did he say?
But the rest of them was okay. It
Yeah.
was just the redhead. He has a very strong accent, which I think is amazing and cool, but hard to understand.
It is hard to understand.
But I loved the accents too.
I know.
The setting is great.
I can't get enough of an Irish accent.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
Irish accents. Mm-hmm. You're a corker, Shannon, from Far and Away. That's what Tom Cruise said. You're a corker. Yeah, no, I that's why I love listening to everybody talk in this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody, and
Yeah.
I can't get enough.
It's great.
And no, this is a fantastic film. I'm surprised this movie isn't more well known. I mean, the people that know it
Yeah.
really know it, but
That's why I was hoping there'd be more people here who, would be introduced to this film, because I think it's
well, this
fantastic.
episode does live on the internet, so
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Well, should we see what other? First of all, we have a letter.
Oh, great.
We have a letter. The letter we have is from Lubna Khan. Lubna Khan has written us. Hello. This is regarding your Elizaviews episode discussing Inception. I should say first that I thought it was quite delightful. You and Elizabeth have such interesting and intelligent discourse, contrasting and complimenting each other. I think you both do a marvelous job. Thank you and bravo.
Wow, thank you.
I may have misunderstood your issues with regards to Ariadne, in which case, my apologies. However, I don't find what Ariadne does difficult to fathom at all. We all do it. Have you never, in a dream, been in a place that you've never been in real life? Well, your subconscious constructed that. Every piece of furnishing, paintings on the wall, color of the floors, walls and ceilings, the lamps, the construction of the place, the views from the windows or balconies. If an outdoor scene, then all the lawns, the roads, the buildings, etc. How does your subconscious do that? I often marvel at what my subconscious comes up with, sometimes quite bizarre. One brightish blue building especially comes to mind. It was not a pyramid, but it was wider at the base than at the top. Apparently I lived in it. It was wound round and round with a sort of scaffolding of stairs like a fire escape, and apparently you had to enter the building at the top, and I recall myself clinging on for dear life to this rather precarious stair, being rattled by the wind, crawling on all hands and knees, one in a long line of people. And I have a fear of heights, a serious fear of heights. Thankfully, while I was afraid in my dream, I was nowise as utterly terrified, not to mention petrified, as I would have been in real life. Nowise. I don't know if that's a but I like that. Nowise. Hence the dream, while certainly less than pleasant, would not quite qualify as a nightmare. But I digress. Where did my mind come up with all this? I haven't the foggiest. Ariadne does consciously what we do subconsciously.
Yeah.
At any rate, that's how I see it. I totally agree with
Yes.
this, but you never see her actually do it in the movie. Like I wanted to see her.
She is doing it when she's moving the buildings, and she built that bridge, and like when she's going, and she has that moment with the mirrors. She's doing that. She's building that.
All right.
In the moment.
I guess I never read it that way, but I'd buy that. Sure. Meanwhile, it's been some time since I've seen the whole film, although I do adore it, but about Tom Hardy being a forger. Was it not he who impersonated that friend of Maurice Fisher who spoke to Cillian Murphy when he had been kidnapped in that first dream lair? Yeah, maybe part of being a forger. But maybe I'm misremembering that, in which case, my apologies. Anyway, I've rabbled on long enough. Lubna, what a nice letter.
Yes, very nice.
Well, thank you for that. And by the way, if
Thank
you
you.
want to send us letters, you can. You can go to the Burnettwork.net website and send me videos or send us videos or letters or
Yes, we
whatever.
love
We will play them and we
videos
will
and
read them.
letters.
Videos and letters. And we will read them on the show.
Absolutely.
Let's see. People are in the chat and saying things to us. Let's see what they have to say.
Okay.
Felix Leiter's here. Rob, my profession takes me globe-trotting, and sometimes sprint can't keep up. My apologies for delaying your show earlier. And to paraphrase Warren Zevon, from the Post-Geek Singularity to Chris Nolan, keep us in your heart for a while, or at least until Tenet releases. I was talking about how it's getting to me, that we're not going to get any new movies for the rest of the year. I mean, I guess I'll just have to buy more physical media.
Sure.
There's a lot of 4K discs I need to catch up on. As you've noticed, I've been organizing all the movies, and there's
you've run out of room. To
no.
put
I
more
got
movies.
another shelf.
But you still have movies to put on that shelf.
I know. I know. Dan V is here. Dan says it's been a while, and I hope both of you are doing well. I love Sing Street, and it was snubbed at the Oscars, where it should have at least gotten a Best Song nom for Drive It Like You Stole It.
Yep.
I like it more than La La Land, where it has better music. I mean, we both love La La Land.
I also love La La Land, but the music here is just fantastic.
Felix Leiter sends in another tip and says, Rob, I did some LOTR binging. That would be Lord of the Rings.
Ah.
Binging today. Sometimes I watch movies while listening to music. The beginning of Return of the King.
Wow, how do you watch a movie and listen to music? That's interesting.
Well, I used to play back when I was married. I used to put movies on and then play music different from the movies. It would be on the big TV, and then the music would be playing, like techno music or dance music.
Oh, interesting.
Like I'd put on Barbarella, and put
I
on
see.
like
like you're in a
techno
club.
music. Yeah,
and
like
there's,
you're
videos and
going for that club vibe. The beginning of Return of the King, when Aragorn and company roll up in Isengard, fits nicely with the Werewolves of London, and For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica works well with Helm's Deep. I want to go do that now. I would imagine it would. That's great. I love that, Felix. Julius A. Goodwin sends an insane tip.
Oh my God.
And says, I just wanted to give Miss Elizabeth an early birthday present.
Oh, wow.
Just in case I can't be around on the 27th. Happy birthday in advance.
Wow. Thank you, Julius.
That is amazing. Julius.
Is amazing.
That is, thank you. For those of you who don't know, yes, Elizabeth's birthday is on
Monday.
Now, since people are bringing that up, that was very nice of you, Julius.
Thank you so much. I'm so touched.
I also want to give mad props to our boy Kaz Graphics.
Yes.
Kaz Graphics in Seattle. I talked about this today. If you watch my show today, the first 20 minutes, I'm sure, I was waxing rhapsodic about. Well, Kaz Graphics, who's up in Seattle, has sent us Beecher's cheese, salmon and Beecher's cheese before.
Yes.
And Beecher's Cheese is in the Pike Place Market. It's also in New York.
Yeah, I think so.
And we had talked about the fact about their mac and cheese. So Kaz Graphics sent us this mac and cheese. I swear to God, this is the best mac and cheese I've ever. Oprah says her favorite mac and cheese. We as soon as we opened it.
As soon as we opened the box, it was like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
yesterday. Let's eat this.
Yeah, we ate it. We split it. We ate it. It was unbelievable. So thank you to Kaz.
It was so good.
And we did open up everything, and very much appreciate it. So here's to Kaz and Julius. Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, this mac and cheese. I don't know. You can't buy it here though.
We could make it if we could make it with the smoked flagship cheese.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I guess we could. It's unbelievable. That's right. Then I could make a giant pot of it.
Huge.
Unbelievable. So thank you for that. And Julius, that was very, very generous. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. I'm so touched.
The Canadian Singing Postie is here. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Canadian Singing Postie sent us a video. John Campia, Aaron, and Chris and I sent us a video of him singing he's a postman in Canada, and he's an incredible singer.
That's cool.
The guy's got an incredible voice, and he's amazing. And what I love about if you go and you see this video, what's great about the video is there's one moment where he like acknowledges. You don't see it on camera, but clearly there are bystanders listening to him sing, and it's such a great.
Well,
you know what?
He sings as he's delivering the meal?
Well, I don't know. He just made us a video singing. But yeah, I guess he was in his mail truck.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, and he's first of all, he's incredibly talented. But I just love the moment in this one video he sent to us where he looks like clearly someone's like going, yay. And he like, it was just this, you know what? The Canadian Singing Postie is like what watching this movie is all about.
Awesome.
It's the same kind of, he's the same kind of guy. He would definitely fit in with us, I'm sure.
I wonder what he thinks of Sing Street.
Well, he did send us something. He says, hey, Rob and Elizabeth, sending this in before the show. So funny you chose Sing Street. One of my uploaded videos was a song for my wife's birthday.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That is so cool.
I hope he's watching the show.
I love that so much.
Yeah, I know. He's incredible. You gotta, I guess he must have gone viral or something, so now if he's got a YouTube channel,
very cool.
You got to check that out. Well,
yeah,
thank you.
Check that out.
Thank you so much. Okay, this is hilarious. Patrick Bateman sends in a tip and says, "Do you like Phil Collins?" Okay. Patrick Bateman is the main character in American Psycho. Mm-hmm. He also has a brother who's actually in Rules of Attraction. But so Patrick Bateman asking if we like Phil Collins is very funny.
That is.
It's very funny. Yes, I like not as much as Huey Lewis in the news, Patrick, but I like Phil Collins. Yes, I do. Kaz Graphics is here. This movie warms my heart with memories of the 80s.
Yes.
Kaz, you're too generous. You're too kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the shout out earlier today. The manager from Beecher's has hooked you up with a package. Also, right, I got to tell you, I talked about this mac and cheese for like 20 minutes. I swear to God. I was not. This was not hyperbole. This was not hyperbole. The only thing wrong with this is it's not this big. I mean, I could have had a giant bowl.
We need the family size.
I don't think they make how can they make a family size if it's frozen? You can't do that.
Yeah, you can. Stouffer's make family size lasagnas. Why couldn't you make a family size?
I don't know.
Flagship mac and cheese.
I don't know. I mean, I want a Beecher's.
That's okay. We'll take the flagship smoked cheese and make it.
Yeah, I mean that's a big hunk. That's a hunk of cheese.
We can make a lot of mac and cheese.
So Kaz, wait, I didn't even finish reading. I'm also writing a handwritten letter to distill the mystery of me. You may be surprised. Much love. Well, Kaz, let's drink to Kaz again.
That's cool. I love the idea of a handwritten letter.
I like a handwritten letter too.
Nobody does that anymore. It's an art.
Make sure if you're going to write us a handwritten letter, tell me if I can read it aloud on the show or not, because wouldn't want to do that. But yes, it's so great. This movie's so great. But thank you again for the packages because much appreciated. That's so funny. That I can only imagine the guy, if the manager at Beecher's is looking at me like talking, who is this guy? Like, why is he going on and on and on and on and on? Timbula the Spider Monkey is here. I love this movie.
Yay.
It takes me back to my 14-year-old me in '89 with my Robert Smith hairstyle, learning the bass guitar. As the years went by, I became a fair bit more Lemmy Klimster. Lemmy is different. But Lemmy's also equally cool, so there you go. Doc Savage sends in a super chat and says, Sing Street reminded me of the assassination of a high school president. An underrated... I haven't seen that.
I don't know that either.
An underrated coming-of-age story. Happy birthday, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Stay savage.
Thank you.
Well, here's you, Doc Savage, man of bronze. Cheers to that. So, yes, and Bunyan Snipe is here. Have you seen the Land of Illusion video with the spitting image puppets? Yes. Mm-mm. Oh, I not only do I have a CD single of that song. I used to be really into CD singles, and I have a CD single of that. And so
I used to get the single tapes.
Yeah, well, these are like, single, but these are CDs, and they would come with little, fold-out LP sleeves. I have it. It's right over there. But the spitting image were these puppets. They had a like a political satire show in England.
Oh.
You've seen this video.
Have I?
Yeah, everyone's seen this video. If I played it for you, here, look, I'll show you. Wait, watch this. Hang on. It's actually Land of Confusion, is what the song. V-I-D-L. Look, I'll play this, and no, I'm gonna play it right now. And wait, hang on. I'll you know what? I can't play it on the show because I'll get demonetized. But you will remember this video.
No,
Nancy and Ronald Reagan,
I've
Bedtime for
never seen
Bonzo. Come on, you've never seen.
I've never seen.
They play this on MTV a million times. Is that because you grew up in an Adventist household and they didn't let you?
I didn't have MTV until later. They used to have this feature where your parents could block certain channels.
Did your parents block channels?
They did. They blocked MTV.
Your father escaped from.
First of all, we didn't have cable for a very long time, and then, well, my dad went through a conservative Christian phase. It was very short-lived, but it was a phase. And so when we did get cable, they blocked MTV. But I figured out how to watch MTV. If you turned off the TV and then changed the channel while the TV was off, and then turned the TV back on, that channel would be on. So I would watch MTV secretly.
Wow, but you still don't remember Land of Confusion.
No. I don't. I'm sorry.
Well, that's your loss. I mean, it was a video. I mean, along with Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel's. How do you not know Land of Confusion if you know Sledgehammer?
I loved Sledgehammer.
Well, yeah, but you would also love Land of Confusion.
I don't know.
Oh man, Well, you were 5 years young. No, you were at the sweet spot for MTV.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
All right.
Maybe I saw it. I don't know.
So Bunyan Snipe asked that. Felix Leiter says, I definitely, for sure, did not write in as Patrick Bateman. Yes, I believe that. By the way, I am a huge Bret Easton Ellis fan. Okay? And since you brought this up, I've heard Roger Avery had the rights to this, but what I do not understand is... Wait, I don't want to ruin my Blade Runner. If anybody who has any pull in Hollywood knows anything, this book, Glamorama, I mean, the idea behind it has been mined a little bit already. Somebody, come on, man. Come on. By the way, look at this. Cherry. This is my mint condition copy of Glamorama. I love this book. It also has one of the best sex scenes I've ever read in my life. It's a bisexual sex scene in a shower. It's amazing. Just saying. I mean, it's incredible. This book should get made into a movie. And Roger Avery, who made rules... It's basically about fashion models becoming international terrorists. In a nutshell. It'd make a great movie. I don't know why it hasn't been adapted yet. I mean, maybe the rights are tied up, but I heard Roger Avery, who did make rules...
Like surfers becoming bank robbers.
Yes. Yes. Wait a minute. Do we do a show on Point Break? Do we talk about that? Because I don't remember. I mean, maybe I remember. I don't know. That episode, Hassan Chavez said that I should take that episode down.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
Maybe I should take it down.
No,
if I was... What if I have
episode.
to apply for a job someday? Like, what if I had to go, like if everything goes to shit and I have to go work, like, I don't know, someplace where I actually have to apply for a job. And what if they look and my future employers see that episode?
We're not hiring you because you were drunk on one of your shows that's about drinking wine?
Well, I would say that I think the amount of alcohol I had before the show shows a lack of judgment.
You were Comic-Conning.
I was Comic-Conning. I was, it's true. But how do I explain that?
I don't think you have to.
I might have to. Kaz Graphics writes in again. Kaz says, yes, Rob and Ace, read my letter. I'm horrible at writing, so I need to craft this elegantly. Beecher sells a monster package of mac and cheese at Costco. Not sure if it's in Cali, but check it out. Oh, I did not know
that. My mom has a Costco membership.
Man, I haven't been to Costco in forever.
I used to have a membership when my kids were little and I had to buy diapers. But I haven't since.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to know.
That you could buy diapers at...
No, that you can buy... No, that you can get Beecher's mac and cheese. I mean, you know what? If Claude and Candida are our official couple, and the Comic Relief is our official comic book store,
yes.
I think we have to make Kaz Graphics
our cheesemonger.
Like, what is that called? What is it?
Cheesemonger.
Is there a cheesemonger? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Like a sommelier?
Yeah, it's a cheesemonger.
There's really a cheesemonger.
Yeah.
Is that like a French thing?
No, that's a real term.
What does a cheesemonger do? Is that like a sommelier of cheese?
Yeah.
So, Kat, are you making that up?
I know. Look it up.
Cheesemonger.
A cheesemonger.
So you're saying Kaz Graphics should be our official cheesemonger?
Yeah, he's our cheesemonger.
I think you're making that up. I don't think that's a real term.
Look it up.
I'm gonna look this up. I don't believe. Well, cheesemonger, really?
Cheesemonger.
MONGER. Wow. It is cheese. It's one word. Cheesemonger. Definition of cheesemonger. Cheesemonger, a merchant who specializes in cheese. How to use cheesemonger in a sentence. Wow. It's one word. When you walk into a cheese shop to buy a wedge for your next party, your go-to person behind the counter is the cheesemonger. All right. I don't know if Kaz Graphics is going to appreciate that, but You know what, Kaz? You're officially the cheesemonger
cheesemonger.
of the Burnettwork. So cheers to you, sir. And I guess then by extension, that Beecher's cheese has to then become the official. See, here I'm giving out ringing endorsements when really I should ask people to sponsor the channel. But
Right.
Kaz kind of does sponsor the channel.
Yeah, he kind of does.
So I'm gonna give out. You know
Maybe
what?
Beecher's will sponsor us.
Maybe, yeah. I'm gonna make Beecher's cheese in the Pike Place Market, which, by the way, the Pike Place Market also has the very first comic book store I ever went into in my life, Golden Age Collectibles. It's been there for over. It has to have been there. No, it has to have been there for close to 50 years now. It used to be across the way from where it is now. I hope it's still there.
I'm sure.
I hope.
Well, I don't know. Is
I don't know.
Seattle open now?
I don't know. But you know what? Okay, so Kaz Graphics is our cheesemonger. You heard it here first, kids. I think that's okay. So, okay, well, as we're approaching the end of our show, Elizabeth,
Yes.
the time has come to rate our film on our bottoms up scale. Why don't you explain what our bottoms up scale is?
Yes, so our bottoms up scale is from 1 to 4 because there are 4 glasses of wine in a bottle.
4 glasses of wine in a bottle.
Yep.
And on a scale of 1 glass to 4 glasses of wine, what would you give this film, Sing Street, on our bottoms up scale?
I love this film. I'm going to give it 4 glasses of wine.
I, too, give Sing Street 4 glasses of wine.
Yay!
This is a very rare film. It's not seen enough. It's an amazing film. Everybody should watch it.
The music is great. The story is great. The verisimilitude is like on par. Like it's perfect.
Timbula goes on to say, another reason to love this movie, Yellow Pearl by Phil Lynott? Phil Lynott? I think. I don't know if I'm getting it right. For years, he was a musical hero, and then and the sole reason I became a bass player.
Oh.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Did he play for this song? Is that...
I don't know.
I'll have to look that up.
I'll have to look that up. I love Patrick Bateman comes back and says, I would love to stay and chat, but I have to return some videotapes. Call me. Call me. I am a huge fan of American Psycho. I think you see that? It's bone. That movie's great.
Ugh, I can't get through that movie.
It's so good.
No. Well, we should do that movie.
Also, peak 80s. I mean...
We should do that movie, and you should be drunk. Because when you're drunk, then I can rip on stuff, and you're, like, oblivious.
No, but then I read the chat later.
They love it.
They loved that. Yeah, but I feel like... I mean, isn't it kind of sad and pathetic being a middle-aged white dude just getting drunk on the internet? Doesn't that make me kind of...
it's not like you do it every
someone to be
day.
pitied? That's true, I don't.
And you were, like, Comic-Conning. Come on.
That's what I've been saying. I was Comic-Conning yesterday. I did not Comic-Con today.
Yeah, I'm glad you took a break.
Well, we're, drinking wine now.
Yeah, but that's not the level of drinking that you were doing the day before.
Well, I was drinking whiskey and beer.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was good. Eric Gant says that Cheesemonger was one of Black Panther's lesser-known villains.
Really?
No, he's making a joke because Killmonger.
Oh.
Killmonger. There was Michael B. Jordan played Killmonger,
Yeah,
Cheesemonger.
okay. Yeah.
By the way, one of the toys that needs to be freed is my Killmonger figure that's up there.
Well, we gotta free the toys.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting to the.
Gotta free the
We're getting
toys.
there. Cheesemonger was one of Black Panther's lesser-known villains. That's pretty funny.
That is.
That's pretty funny. Well, okay, so we're coming to the end of this episode. Are there movies that you want to talk about?
What do you mean?
We don't know what we're going to be watching next.
Oh, well, Monday's my birthday. What did you pick?
That's a secret.
It's a secret movie for Monday?
Your birthday movie is a secret. I'm
Well,
not going to tell you.
How are people going to know to watch it?
When I announce it over the weekend.
So I'm not supposed to listen when you announce it?
No, you'll know.
Ah.
You'll know.
Interesting.
Yeah, so your birthday is actually, your actual birthday is Monday. The 27th of July.
It is Monday. So
It
you
is-
better be here for the show, because it is my actual birthday.
Yeah, well, yes. Yes.
Hopefully it includes some...
Oh, why do you say, oh,
Sean Connery.
oh man. Is that what you want? You want Sean Connery? I really need to clean my desk. Anyway, so we're gonna bring an end. Phil
think there's a
Phil
couple
Lynott was
more.
the lead singer and bass player for Thin Lizzy. Oh, I don't. Yeah. Wait a minute. Doc Savage says, "I love." First of all, Timula, I didn't know that. I apologize. I should probably know that. I just didn't know that. Doc Savage sends in a super chat and says, "I love Grease 2, but hate Grease 1. Am I an a-hole?" Well,
That's
frankly,
interesting.
how can you not like Grease?
Yeah, that's... Wow, okay.
Beauty school dropout.
Right?
No graduation day
Sing
for
me.
you.
I love when you sing to me.
Mr. Midterms and got the flu. It's like it's Grease Lightning, you know.
I love Grease. I love Grease.
Born to hand jive, baby. Come on. I used to know that album. I could sing every song on that album. I can't anymore. Look at me, I'm Sandra D. Well, I thought that was pretty funny. Cast Graphics says the Fisher King. Come on, man. That's actually a good one. You know what? We'll do the Fisher King Wednesday.
Okay.
The Fisher King will do Wednesday.
I'm not sure I've seen it.
Well, excuse me. You'll know what that
is
means.
that where that came from?
Well, it's different than what you think.
Oh.
Because there's Steve Martin, but there's also Jeff Bridges.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's true. Grease 2, you know, I don't think you're an a-hole because Grease 2 has Michelle Pfeiffer in it, and anything that Michelle Pfeiffer is in, by definition, by default, gets a big thumbs up from me.
I agree with that. I
Yeah.
have a crush on her.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Carlos Fontes says, "I just watched Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 for the first time, and I'm kicking myself for waiting so long to watch them." Well, first of all, how did this take you so long? Any movies you feel the same way about? Sound of Music? No, I'm just
So
kidding.
much. There's so many movies that you've introduced me to that I'm like, why didn't I watch this?
I've told this. I don't know if I've told this on this show before.
Yeah.
I had never seen
Sound of Music.
I'd never seen The Godfather. I didn't watch The Godfather.
You're
The first
actually admitting
the
this?
first time I watched The Godfather was in 1990. And here's the crazy thing. I owned The Godfather. I bought The Godfather. I owned it on both VHS and Laserdisc. I still have my Godfather Laserdisc right over there. I owned it in 2 different formats and never watched it.
That's insane.
Never watched it. And I was living in my apartment on right off of in Los
Kenmore.
Feliz. Yeah, Kenmore.
On Kenmore.
On Kenmore. And I was in my apartment, and one day it was Godfather 3 was coming out, and I'm like, okay, you know, everybody talks about how great The Godfather is. So I sat down, I set aside a day. I was going to watch Godfather 1 and 2 all the way, which I did. And I was blown away.
Yeah.
Like, I could not believe... those movies, it was one of those times when whatever I thought The Godfather was, it wasn't that. It was different. Like, when I heard about The Godfather, I had no idea. It blew me away. I was blown away. And the next day, I watched them again. I didn't go out of the house, and I watched Godfather 1 and 2. I couldn't... And Godfather became... Well, I think of Godfather 1 and 2 as basically one movie.
Yeah.
They're my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah. My dad loved those films.
Well, and Coppola said it himself. The Godfather is about a king and his 3 sons.
Mm-hmm.
It's only set in the world of the mafia, the Cosa Nostra of the 40s, but it's a timeless film. It's staggering.
Yeah, totally. We should do those.
So, Carlos, what about you? Was there any movie that you...
So many.
Yeah, but did anything affect you? Like, when you watched it, you're like, oh my God, this is like revelatory.
I don't know. I mean, what have we watched that I was like, wow?
Well, a lot of things, but I also don't think that you're necessarily built, like, a movie is not going to, like, change your life. I mean, you like movies and stuff, but I think, like, if you saw art or you painted a picture.
Me? That's not true.
All right, well, so tell me I'm wrong.
That is not true.
All right.
Movies affect me as much as art, as much as music. I'm an artist, so it's like it doesn't matter what the art form is. It hits me right here.
No, I'm not saying that it doesn't, but you know, you're not the same kind of a movie fan that I am. I mean, we look at movies in a different way.
Okay.
Don't you think, though? Come on.
Sure.
You don't even remember movies when I show them to you.
That's just because I have a memory problem. That doesn't mean that I don't.
Do you have a memory problem?
I have a memory problem.
Has that been diagnosed?
It's a hormonal thing. I've been struggling with hormone problems for the past several years. So I have memory problems.
How come you remember Body Melt? I mean, of all the things I want you to forget...
I don't remember the specifics of it, actually.
One day we're going to have to do Body Melt, because I have to...
We have to do Body Melt.
I bought the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray.
But don't you like that I have a memory problem? Because you can show me movies over and over again. I'm like, have I seen this?
But how do you remember that you think Hunt for Red October is boring when I would just love to...
Because you've played it over and over and over.
No. How would you know that if you have a memory problem?
Oh, come on. It's not, my memory problem is not that bad.
Do you remember how many times I've watched The Big Short?
100.
I love The Big Short.
I know. Every time you can find it, you play it.
Because The Big Short's great. Anyway, I think we should end our show. It's a Friday night. People have things to do.
They do?
Yeah.
Like what? Everyone's at home.
Maybe, but they don't need to watch us talk about your memory problems or me talking about how many times I've watched The Big Short. Way more than I probably should have. Talk about Patrick Bateman. Christian Bale's in that movie. I love The Big Short. I love The Hunt for Red October.
It's a great yeah. I mean, even though it's
Marco Ramius. When Cortez went to the New World, he burned his ships. That way his men were properly motivated.
Oh, that's a great accent.
No, it's not. It's terrible.
You should do that more often.
No.
Come on, man.
No, it's...
You're Sean Connery.
No.
I like it.
No. No. Anyway, why don't you take us out?
Everyone you meet has a story to tell.
No, first of all, you got to lead into it. First of all, let's say I want to thank my moderating staff. I want to thank the Richard, Robert Pariso, Mr. Derringer, new moderators. The Richard, if you haven't gone to the Post-Geek Singularity Facebook page or the WINEning About Movies Facebook page, the Richard is always throwing watch parties into the wee hours of the night.
Right after this, he's playing Sing Street. So if you haven't seen it, you absolutely should join the Zoom party.
You should.
And even if you have, you should watch it again.
Yes, go find the Richard. Tell him I sent you.
I think he put a link. See, there's a
Oh,
link.
good night. There it is. Zoom watch party. There is the Richard.
Do it.
And yes, absolutely.
Sorry, keep going.
I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel via super chats and tips. Thank you very much.
And thank you for the birthday wishes.
And Julius, thank you for that very generous contribution to the channel. I'll make sure that I just give that to Elizabeth so she can buy something nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank Kaz Graphics for being the official... We've appointed him the official cheesemonger. So thank you, Kaz. And thank you for the mac and cheese and Beecher's cheese. And I'll just start talking about Beecher's cheese just because.
Yeah, maybe they'll decide to sponsor.
Well, he did say that the manager's gonna send. Maybe they're gonna send more stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy to a Seattle company that makes good cheese.
I mean, come on.
I mean, I wonder if Kaz Graphics is actually, maybe we can lobby for him to become the official cheesemonger of Beecher's. Like the I used to be the critic at large for Sci-Fi Universe magazine. What if Kaz Graphics was the cheesemonger at large for Beechers?
That's
Like
an
he's just
interesting
out in the
idea.
world. He does. I don't know. He just. I didn't know about Beecher's cheese until he hooked us up.
It's true.
So maybe he's out there. Maybe that's what Kaz does. Perhaps he's the Beecher's cheese outreach guy.
You'd have to ask him. I don't know if
Well, he's going to write us a letter and tell us.
if he's like that's his goal in life.
I'm going to write. You know what? I'm going to call up the manager of Beecher's in Seattle and go, "Hi." Tell him who I am and say,
We love your cheese.
we need to make Kaz Graphics the official Beecher's cheese outreach man.
That's a big job. You
Well-
might want to ask Kaz if he wants that job.
But he's already been that. I've already appointed
to
him.
you.
Yeah,
he's
but-
our cheesemonger. For us, he's our cheesemonger.
Well, he's the official cheesemonger for the Burnettwork.
Okay.
But I think he should be the official cheesemonger for Beecher's. You know, the cheesemonger at large.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, so now after all of that, after that business has been done, now take us out.
Okay. So, everyone you meet has a story to tell that you yet have to hear.
You have yet to hear. And what?
All you have to do is listen.
All you have to do is listen. That's correct.
Yeah.
And
And have a better night.
have a better night. Thank you for joining us for Whining About Movies, episode number 57.
I hope you loved this movie. And if you haven't seen it, please watch it.
And go find the Richard. He's going to show it to you right now.
Right now.
So thank you all very much. We will be back. I'll be back on Robservations tomorrow. But we will be back Monday night. Elizabeth,
On my birthday.
On your birthday, you'll be here. We can't go out anywhere. I can't take you to dinner.
No.
I mean, I can,
I
maybe.
mean, at least I get wine if we do the show
Yeah,
and watch a good movie.
we'll watch a good movie.
It better be good.
It'll be good.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Better be good.
Have a good evening. It will be good. When would I show you a movie that's not good? Why would I wouldn't do that.